Oh, welcome back. What you just watched was a fraternal moment between D'Angelo, the central figure, whilst the young man on the left and Bodhi sitting on the right. But the question is, what did you learn? The game, the drug game, the crime game, the street game is like the game of chess. The king of this operation is a man by the name of Avon Barksdale, D'Angelo's uncle. The pawns, as alluded to, are a bit insignificant. You will walk away forgetting their names, unless they leave a major impression on you, that is. Our concern is the queen. And like the young man said, the queen is Stringer Bell. He is Barksdale's second in command, his right-hand man, the individual who gets things accomplished. He, in essence, has all the moves, as he is the thinker of the organization, the intellectual. However, unlike the king, the game can continue with or without him, and unfortunately, he can be replaced by a smart-ass pawn. D'Angelo said something else very important. The king stayed a king. Later on in our journey, this will become critical to our interpretation of the king and the queen, of Barksdale and Stringer Bell, as they both will tussle for control of the board. The king wants to go on a full-out attack, while the queen prefers to be a bit more tactical. The problem is that the queen's power is limited, despite being the second most powerful piece in the game, the second in command in the organization. Because of her power, she sometimes becomes the target of attack. But before we explore that, let's see how she moves.
Then demand is said to be elastic, but some products are inelastic, meaning a change in price does not affect demand. Some key factors that affect the elasticity of demand are what? Mr. Bell?
Desire, consumer need.
Right, specifically the ability of a consumer to delay acquisition. What else can affect elasticity?
Yeah, man, we got work orders here and ain't nothing happening. I mean, these jobs were promised for yesterday, and people are going to be coming in here asking for their work and nothing been done.
Man, fuck them. Let them wait.
No, you're not going to bring that corner bullshit up in here. You hear me? Yo, you know what we got here? We got an elastic product. You know what that means? That means when people can go elsewhere and get their printing and copying done, they're going to do it. You acting like we got an inelastic product and we don't. Now, I want this to run like a true fucking business. Not no front, not no bullshit. Understand me? I'm sorry.
Back. That was Stringer Bell in the classroom. Impressive, right? The viewer is first introduced to Stringer Bell in the premiere of the HBO series. In an episode entitled The Target, Bell appears at the trial of D'Angelo Barksdale, a fellow member within his crime organization, and nephew to the man in charge of the operation, Avon Barksdale. The mise-en-scène of the courtroom shot is particularly telling, not only of the power of the Barksdale establishment, but of the nature of Stringer Bell himself. Bell is pictured in the rear of the courtroom, properly postured, impeccably and comfortably attired in professional wear and adorned with spectacles. His externality alone posits him, even if prematurely, as a thinker. This is further compounded by the notebook in his hands and the strong, earnest expression displayed on his face. In fact, the viewer suspects Bell to be one of the good guys, as his disposition and guise suggests a certain traditional commitment to law, to intellectuality. It is not until the scene foregrounds Detective Jimmy McNulty, played by Dominic West, that one learns that Stringer Bell himself is a member of the crime organization. The exchange between these two figures, Bell and McNulty, magnifies the notion of target, as Bell becomes the subject of his white masculine gaze, a potential victim of his hegemonic power and surveillance. In this moment, Sensing the pressure exerted by McNulty, Bell turns and shows him a picture reading, "Fuck you, detective." After successfully foiling the prosecution's case, Bell stands up, silver attaché in hand, and respectfully bids goodbye to McNulty. His dress, unflinching antagonism towards the detective, and fluid articulation mark him as a man of power, as an intellectual. But more importantly, this encounter is one of the first to indicate how Bell is a figure symbolizing defiance, one in need of policing from both the law and Avon Barksdale himself. Stringer Bell consistently throughout the series can be seen in his professional attire, suit, tie, business garb, assuming a sophisticated posture and articulation. However, the viewer gets a more direct reading of Bell as an intellectual in Season 1, Episode 8, wandering around the halls in Baltimore City Community College, as you just witnessed. Detective McNulty locates Bell in a macroeconomics class, being the star intellectual he postures to the world. Acting like a figure from a Foucauldian exposition on the regulating gaze and surveillance, McNulty peers through the glass of this intellectual panopticon and solidifies for the viewer that Bell is indeed an intellectual. This is a beautiful moment for Stringer Bell, a moment that is, unfortunately, going to be followed by ugliness. You see, it's Stringer Bell's intellectuality that becomes a threat not only to the law, but to Avon Barksdale himself. Immediately following Barksdale's imprisonment, Stringer Bell, being the second in command, assumes the reins of the Barksdale crime organization. And while he's in power, he restructures the gang, formulates a co-op with fellow, or I should say, warring crime organizations, and changes the way the drug deal or the drug game is played. This is not something that sits well with Avon Barksdale. And following Barksdale's release from prison, his relationship with Stringer Bell takes a drastic turn. The profound fraternity, once defining their bond, is reduced to a human skepticism and lack of trust. Additionally, the fight for power, which is more a quest for survival, mars their relationship. The two come to understand that they represent two disparate philosophies for living, for playing the game. And this is evidenced in one of the most powerful scenes of Season 3, following the wounding of Avon Barksdale by a rival gang. The viewer sees Stringer Bell dressed as the professional intellectual he has consistently projected himself to be, while Avon, with a recently stitched wound, is comfortably and urbanly dressed. The heated exchange is characterized by Bell's indictment of Barksdale as one who irrationally seeks blood and death, while Barksdale himself questions Stringer's masculinity. Let's take a look.